y'all, it's me, Jessica. I only have a few minutes before the kids come running out to the car. I just wanted to post a quick video just to update about our psych evaluation yesterday. I had said in my last video that I was going to try to do a questionnaire with my husband, and I'm still going to try to do that, and probably will just make a separate video. This has been a very long week for us. Monday, my husband got off early and was working in the yard, and one of our dogs got bit by a snake and passed away. It was an inside dog that we just had in the yard while we were out there, and she was only a little over a year old, so we believe that when she saw the snake, she went after it. It was very hard for us because this is our baby, and of course it just tore our children up, and we had other small children at our house who this upset. So yesterday we went after our psych evaluation and stopped by a canine training center and looked at some puppies there. Not to replace our dog, of course, because she's our baby. We don't want to replace her, but to give some healing to our children and to ourselves. When you have a little, well, in our case, a big baby that climbs in your lap every time you sit down, it's hard to even imagine, especially when she just died unexpectedly. So yesterday we dealt with that, and of course then we had by the time we got home from psych eval and all of that, and we haven't gotten the puppy. We just went and looked, and hopefully we'll get one Saturday if the one that we chose is still there. But anyways, today's Wednesday. Yesterday was Tuesday, our psych eval, and it was pretty simple. It lasted a little less than an hour, but was pretty simple. She did go over the test that I took, the MMI-2 test, or she didn't go over it. She just told me that I was normal. It came back normal or whatever, which my husband laughed about. Thought it was pretty funny. My psych test said I was normal. And then she asked us, of course, questions like, how long have we been married? How long were we dating before we got married? Are we happy in our marriage? How do we feel about our marriage right now? And she did asked me about my parents, about their family, and different questions like that, which I stated in the last video. I don't know a whole lot about my biological father's family. And honestly, I didn't know really a whole lot about my mother's side, my uncles and things. As far as how many times they've been married, she asked if they were married more than twice, or how many blood relatives I've had that's been married more than twice. I have no idea. I grew up in a time where if a man and a woman lived in the same house, we called them husband and wife, even though they weren't husband and wife. So I really don't know, and that's what I told her. I was like, honestly, I don't know those questions. She asked me about any that's been in prison, any that have drug or alcohol problems, things like that. And I was able to just answer by just saying the ones I knew about. Then the next thing she asked is a couple questions, and I do want to read those. Oops, I didn't mean to put my finger in the way. She asked, there are more so questions that she wanted us to write down, and then they had little sub points to them that she wanted us to write down and to take home and answer. She said we didn't have to, not to answer to her, but take home and answer and think about, which is still pretty much things that we've already went over, like what kind of relationship we want with a child and with a family, because she did say that sometimes when things like this happen, IPs feel obligated, sorry, I can't pronounce that word correctly, obligated to have or make their child have a close relationship to the surrogate, just because they're so grateful for what the surrogate has done, and inviting the surrogate and her family to birthday parties and things like that. And if by the end of the pregnancy we have a relationship like that, that's wonderful. If we don't, that's wonderful too. I'm not doing this to get another child that can be a part of its life. That's, if I wanted that, we would have our own, and we don't want any more. So just questions like that, and questions about how we foresee the pregnancy and delivery, what like if I'm comfortable with IPs going to all my visits, or being able to contact my OB, or being in the living room and things like that. And all those things we have went over, but just she wants us to put them down, pen and paper, send to the IPs. They, or I guess send the questions to IPs, and we go over the answers, making sure that we're on the same page, not just we're assuming one thing and they're assuming another thing. We're on the same page with it all. And we can put it down on a piece of paper and all of us sign it. And she wants us to take 3 copies back to her when we have our group meeting, which is totally awesome. At this point, I don't even think that she, talking about the psychologist, knows if she has seen my IPs yet, because she made the statement yesterday that usually she sees the intended parents first, then the surrogate, and then all together, but that she saw us first, which was weird because I know that a couple times when the lady who does the scheduling had called, she had told me that she was going to call my IPs first, and that the last time I talked to my IM, that had not happened. But our part is done, and so next would be either, if they have not already, if my IPs have not already met with the psychologist, they will have to have their meeting. Then we would have our meeting together, and then that part would be done, which is wonderful. The way that the psychologist talked yesterday, and the way that I know that we are on the same page on most of them questions, I don't foresee our evaluation being a hindrance in any way. Our psych evaluation, I'm sorry. I still have to be medically cleared, and then we would start contracts. Again, we can't do transfer until sometime in October, November time frame, because I had chose to go on a cruise which was scheduled before we had started the surrogacy progress. I'm sorry, before we had started the surrogacy process. So we're not in a rush, but from things I've read through the different Facebook groups I'm in, I don't want to be stuck in middle of October waiting on contracts. So I feel like I'm in a rush, but we're not in a rush, if that makes any sense. But so all we have is these few things to do, then contract, and then if the RE sees fit, we'll have to do a mock cycle first, and then get ready for transfer, which would be awesome if we are able to transfer October time frame, and then hopefully, God willing, have a positive pregnancy confirmation, whatever, ultrasound in November, before my IM starts her busy seasons again in her job, because I feel like that would give her something to look forward to when she knows she's coming to the end of her busy season. Because I know that even with me, work keeps us pretty busy and keeps our minds preoccupied. So, and sorry, for some reason I can't speak correctly today. But so then, I don't know. It'd be exciting, I guess. So, that is it for this video. If you have any questions, I am always willing to answer any surrogacy questions. I may not know the correct answer to a lot because I am new, and I'm learning, not just learning through this as we go along each step, but also learning from what I've seen through other videos and other groups and the Facebook groups and things like that. I have come to realize that not everyone is going to agree with what I'm doing. Even people who I feel are very close to me are not going to agree with what I'm doing. And some of them will just not talk about it, ask about it. Others will flat out tell you that they don't think it's right. But I do feel that I am doing what God has led me to do. And if I'm not, then I know that He is going to set me on the right track, because it is something I have prayed about. I don't want my will to be done. I want His. And that's what's going to happen. And I do feel like that I am doing what He would have me to do. And I have the most important person on my side, and that is my husband. And, you know, we will take it step by step and see where God leads. And I am just so excited about this opportunity that God has put us on, no matter what others' views are. You know, we can disagree and still love each other, and that's what I'm going to do. I might not agree, but I'm still going to love my brothers and sisters in Christ, and I'm still going to do what God had me to do and not be a hindrance, not be a stumbling block to anyone, and not get in the way of God's will. I just felt like I needed to add that in there. That is where I stand. So I hope that you all have a blessed day. My children are coming out, so I'm going to get off here and go do the homework thing as soon as we get home. Have a blessed day. See you next time.